I'm going for the Smite, boys. Wish me luck.
What's going on, guys? Sinister here, back with another Smite video, and we are covering the patch notes for patch 3.10 in Smite. It was just released Twitch stream a couple hours ago, but the patch notes were just released physically on the website like recently. So we're gonna jump right into that. I was gonna save the God reveal for last, but you know what? We're gonna do that first. First, because you know we want to know who the new God is, and it's a Guardian. We finally get another Guardian. Last Guardian released was Khepri. We've had multiple hunters in a row, and now we have Susano, who's broken. Just a spoiler alert, he gets nerfed, but it's nothing big. So Fafnir, Lord of the Glittering Gold. He's a Guardian, and he's going to be an extremely good Guardian. He's very aggressive too. Does a lot of damage, but his passive is extremely good. It will probably move up into one of the top passives in the game. It's called Endless Greed. Fafnir gains 4 bonus gold for all minions, structures, kills, and assists. So you can build a very expensive build with him because you'll have more gold than everybody else. He also gains bonus protections based on the amount of gold he's currently holding. So let's say you're running, you know, dual lane. You guys are holding out strong. You don't have any health loss, any mana. You guys are just holding it. So what's the point of going back? You can sit there with your 2,000 gold and just gain extra protections. It's a really great passive. We're going to skip right to his ultimate because it correlates with the rest of his abilities. He is a stance changer, kind of. His ultimate is called Dragonic Corruption. Fafnir transforms into a terrifying dragon and is untargetable during the process. So he turns into this huge dragon, which is very big. It scales huge, and during the transformation he cannot be targeted and hit with abilities. However, when he goes back to his human, his dwarf form, he can be targeted, so you have to use that wisely. I think it lasts like 33 seconds at max rank, something like that. So if you're in the fight in dragon form and you see that it's about to end, you can't stay there because you'll be going down for like half a second to a second and you'll be vulnerable that entire time. So you have to use it wisely. So he does transform into a dragon, and his basic attacks are basically Ares Flames. That's his basic attack constantly. You can spin around with it and flame everybody. It's pretty nice. His first ability, Curse Strength and Corrosive Acid. He hurls a hammer forward, so it's a line effect, and he deals damage to all the minions, and when he hits a god, it stops, stuns them for 1 second, and does damage. The stun god radiates out a curse pulse, slowing them and nearby enemies for 3 seconds. So it'll hit the enemy god, slow them, and nearby enemies for 3 seconds. It stuns the enemy hit though. So the enemy that's hit by the hammer is stunned for a second, and nearby enemies are slowed for 3 seconds. While he's in his dragon form, the ability deals increased damage that ticks every second for 3 seconds, and the cursed pulse shreds protections in addition to slowing. So when you're in dragon form, it does the damage, more damage, which is also damage over time, additional slowing, and shreds protections. So it's ridiculous. There's so much that he does in dragon form. Want to note that all of his abilities in dragon form deal damage over time. I believe that's the whole, you know, theme of it, is they all do dots. So his second ability, I do not know how to pronounce this, so I apologize. Corsi? I don't know, something like that. And Horrifying Gaze. Fafnir, again, it's I don't like being a support player in a jungler. I very terrified this god is going to be way too broken. Reading his abilities now, I've read them a couple times, but just reading them, it's just, they're so good. There's so much you can do, and the passive mainly, that just have more gold than everybody else. But his second ability is a buff for himself and allies. It makes your allies fight harder, boosting their power and attack speed for 5 seconds, and it also heals himself. So not only does he have a lot of CC with stuns and slows and damage and bleeds on his 1, his 2, heals himself, buffs allies' power and attack speed. So dual lane hunters are going to thrive off of Fafnir. When he's in his dragon form, the area is larger and can affect multiple allies. So I guess while you're in your dwarf form, it only affects you and one other ally, maybe? I don't know. His third ability, Underhand Tactics and Deadly Bite. This is a leap, so he actually has a really good getaway as well. Fafnir leaps to a target location and executes a despicable strike, dealing damage and disarming the enemies in front of him. So he has CC with stuns, slows, on his 1. He has a self-heal and a power and attack speed buff on his 2, and now he has a disarm, as well as getaway. I mean, come on, what more do you want? It's insane. It's much like Ratatasker's rework. Like, what more could you possibly want? So yeah, he has a leap. It does a decent amount of damage and disarms them. In his dragon form, he can leap much further. I believe while he's in dwarf form, it's 50 units or 55 units, and in dragon form, it's 70 units that he can leap forward to. The damage is increased, and it ticks every second for 3 seconds. He also stuns the enemy closest to him for 2 seconds in addition to disarming. So if you hit your ult, you hit your 3, you're going to do a buttload of damage, you're going to stun them for 2 seconds and disarm them. I mean, come on. So even if they pop beads, they're still disarmed. It doesn't matter. So Fafnir is extremely good. Possibly broken. That passive is insane. We'll have to see the damage. They didn't give the damage scaling in the patch notes. We don't know how powerful he really is. So, but yeah, that's something to look forward to. We're gonna jump into the skins next. Aphrodite gets a new skin. It's not your typical slutty Aphrodite skin though. Not a beach babe, not a pop star. It's Aphra-Cadabra Aphrodite. She's a witch. She's got the hat, the pale skin, the black hat, the cauldron, all of that. Link again will be in the description. You can listen to the voice samples and stuff and see the skins for yourself. Scotty gets a new skin with Ski Patrol Scotty. She is, you know, what the title is. She's Ski Patrol. She's got her goggles, her antlers or horns that are on her back are now skis, and Calder. Calder changes as well. Calder is now a Saint Bernard dog with, you know, the root beer, the can of beer mug on his neck, everything. It's great. Ravana gets a new skin. Demon King Ravan. Can't really tell from the picture. He looks like he has a bluish purple skin. He's got like this Fu Manchu handlebar mustache going on. Pretty cool. Not a Ravan player, but it's pretty cool. Sobek, another new skin. I feel like Sobek gets one every single patch. The Nile Stalker Sobek kind of looks the same as his regular skin. He just has like this yellow armor all over him with really sharp teeth. I don't know. Can't tell from the picture. You'll have to check it out. Uller gets a new skin as well. The Worm Slayer Uller. Can't see what it looks like because it's a picture of on her. So Smite messed up there. Fafnir gets his alternate skin, of course, and Jingwei Masteries are out. New achievements for Aphrodite, Nox, and Ratatasker. The item changes, we have 3 item changes, all health. Gauntlet of Thebes reduced from 350, or increased from 350 to 400. Mail Renewal 350 to 400, and Stone of Gaia 350 to 400. So health increases on those items. God changes. AMC gets a huge buff. He's probably going to be viable. Probably top pick, top ban now. Just kidding, of course. Hive cooldown reduced from 16 seconds to 14 seconds. Not much for AMC. Artemis gets a glitch fix. Habwa gets a little bit of a buff. Mana cost reduced on his water spout. 70 and 100 at max rank to 85 at max rank. So, big little buff there. Kukulkan gets a tiny buff. His slipstream cost is reduced from 15 seconds all around to 15, 14, 13, 12, and 11. Ratatasker, big nerfs coming from Rat. Dart base damage is reduced from 100, 140, 180, 220, and 260 to 80, 120, 160, 200, and 240. So it scales down by 20 each time. And his Flurry increased cooldown by 2 seconds from 12 to 14, as well as the protection debuff is reduced. Before it would scale at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it's 2, 2, 3, 3, and 4. Rajin also gets a huge nerf. His Thunder Crash gets a nerf. The lightning damage is reduced from 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 to 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. The thunder damage gets the biggest nerf though. 40, 60, 80, 100, and 120 is what it used to do. Now it does 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Huge nerf there. At max rank it does 40 less damage. Susano gets a tiny nerf. His Storm Kata now scales at 80% instead of 90%. Not much there. but it doesn't proc more than once, so solo laners, Susanos get a little bit more of a nerf than the rest. If you were running Bluestone Pendant, you could hit your cone, your area, and it would proc both times. Now it only procs once, so I guess it was a tiny more of a nerf. But you know, Hi-Res says that he's not broken, he's just annoying to play against. No, he is thoroughly broken, Hi-Res. That's okay, because I jungle and I like him. It doesn't bother me. That's going to wrap it up, guys. As always, if you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the subscribe button, drop it a like if you would. Like I said, I will link it in the description if you want to check it out. Yeah, I hope to do more updates on all the patch notes coming out, so do stay tuned for that. As always, thank you guys for the support, and I'll see you again soon.